Hello everyone, Jules here. Today I'd like to show a few books in my astrology topic series, and I'm going to talk about Celtic astrology. And I have 3 books here that are written all by the same author. And I wanted to talk about this topic because I don't think Celtic astrology is very well known. And the 3 books that I'm going to show are all written by the same author because she is an astrologer who created Celtic astrology, who created that system. And the author's name is Helena Paterson. And I'm going to show the first book here of 3 that she has written. And this is the first book called the Celtic Lunar Zodiac. So here is the first book. This is a hardcover book. It's out of print, but you may be able to get this on Amazon. This was the first book of 3 that I have here. And this is a really interesting and original system. Helena Paterson has created a system where she has got the 28-day period of what is normally a lunar cycle, and she has created 13 Celtic star signs instead of 12 signs, because these are 28-day periods instead of 30 to 31 day periods that the Western astrology normally follows. And then she has matched up each of these 13 signs with the Celtic trees, with the tree system, and with Celtic animal symbols. And I'll just see if I can show you one of the diagrams here. So I'll just see if I can do this. It's on rather glossy paper, but it is divided into the 13 different signs with each of the 13 Celtic trees. And it's also got the wheel of the year, the 8 festivals of the year, the cross quarters and the 5 festivals all associated as well. And she matched those up with Western star signs. So it's a really interesting book and a really interesting idea. This book has got beautiful coloured pictures in here. Now, for example, this is the section on the September month, and it has been matched up with the vine plant. And here is an example of one of the pictures for the chapter in here. So this is a great introduction book if you can get this one, because this is the first book. Like, the illustrations are really beautiful. This one is for the November to December period. The dates are quite different in this system because it is a 28-day period, and this is to do with the elder tree. And you can see the gorgeous illustration for that section, for that chapter. So it's a wonderful book if you can get this. And it also talks about the myths associated with each one. And it's really a great introduction. It's a great introduction book, this first one. So this is the first book, the Celtic Lunar Zodiac. It's called Lunar because of the 28-day periods for the signs. How to interpret. Well, she says here how to interpret your moon sign, and you could use it with your moon position, but you could also use it with your sun position too. By Helena Paterson. So that's the first book. I'll put the details below the video as usual. Now here is the second book by the same author, and this was published by Llewellyn in paperback. You might still be able to get this possibly on Amazon. This is also out of print. This is the second book that she wrote. This is the Handbook of Celtic Astrology, the 13 sign lunar zodiac of the ancient Druids by Helena Paterson. This is the same system that is expanded a bit more, and you can see here on the cover, this is a good example of the system. You have got the Western signs here and the Celtic tree that's associated with it, and then on the outside here these are the Celtic animal symbols that are also associated with each of the Celtic signs, Celtic astrology signs. So this is a great book too, and this book expands on the first book. It gives more information. And the other thing that's a bit different with this is there's two things that are a bit different with this book. It gives all of the different planetary positions for the signs and the degrees. So anyone who knows a bit more about astrology, this is really good for interpretation. And the other thing that's different in this one is that it talks about the decans or the decanates. And I actually don't use the decanates with this system because Helena Paterson uses quite an ancient decan system, and I don't particularly relate to that decan system. But you can ignore that with this book. It has all of the different planetary positions for the different signs and the different degrees, and it elaborates further on the signs themselves and the trees that are associated with them. It also has, it's got the stories, and it goes more into the myths about the actual trees as well. And it's also got some fixed stars in here as well. So this one does elaborate a lot further than the first book. It has all the dates like the first book for the different signs. And it might be a bit easier to see on this diagram where it has all the different divisions. This one has the animal symbols inside, in the inside inner circle. Then it has the Western symbols on the outer circle, and then it goes into the trees. On the second outer circle has the tree, the relevant tree, and then it has the division of the 8 festivals of the year. So this is a really good book too. This one might be easier to get, I would say, than the first book, and it's published by Llewellyn. You could probably get this on Amazon, I would think, but it is out of print as well. So this is the Handbook of Celtic Astrology by Helena Paterson. And then the third book was written about 10 years after that book I just showed. This book is out of print as well, but it is available on Kindle on Amazon. So that is handy if you want to get this book. This is Celtic Moon Signs by Helena Paterson, and here's the cover to this book. This one is very interesting too, because this one talks about the fixed stars, and it also talks about in relation to the Celtic signs, and it talks about all of the myths that are associated with the constellations and the fixed stars in relation to the Celtic signs. So I find this a really interesting book as well. I find this very interesting because I am interested in the constellations, and these are constellations that are not necessarily connected with the Western zodiac signs. I think it's one of the few books that not only talks about that, writes about that, but also matches this up in the Celtic system. I don't know of any other author who really has written about this Celtic astrology system. Helena Paterson created this system, and I don't know of any other authors that have actually written on the same topic, and it's a really fascinating topic, especially for people who are interested in the Celtic trees and Celtic animal symbols and the whole division of the zodiac in 28 day or 13 signs instead of the usual 30 to 31 day division of signs. So this is Celtic Moon Signs by Helena Paterson, and I was saying that this is available on Kindle on Amazon because the book also is out of print. And what happens with this one as well, there's also mythology for the Western signs as well. So she talks about the correlation between these Celtic signs and the Western signs from the mythology point of view. And then she also talks about the constellation myths, and she also talks about the different also gods and goddesses that are associated with these Celtic signs. And she also includes the Wheel of the Year in this one as well, because it's all part of her system. So this is a really good book, even if you can get this on Kindle. So Celtic Moon Signs by Helena Paterson, and I'll put all of the details below the video. So I hope you enjoyed learning about that quite different astrology system. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.